I'm obsessed with learning about Ayurveda recently, and there is an incredible book on Spotify where you're able to literally learn all about Ayurveda, all about the body types, the doshas. And I personally believe I am Vata Pitta. It's a dual dosha, so you've got 3 doshas in Ayurveda: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, and each have their own needs, each have their own elements within the body, and a lot of us have all 3. However, one can be dominant, or 2 can be dominant, or all 3 can work cohesively. It's just a case of figuring that out. But for me, supposedly I'm quite dry, which makes up for a lot of what goes on in my body and my health issues. And eating things like popcorn and dry crackers and biscuits alone, I think, can really aggravate my vata quality. So having really moist, really warming foods, nothing too dry in, no fried foods, things like that. Obviously, within reason, I'm going to eat what I want because I'm a human and I want to exist in a world where I can explore everything without thinking about how I'm going to compromise my health every 2 seconds. However, it is useful to know these things if you are someone who does things regularly. So if you're a big smoker, for example, and you're getting things like candida or issues with your, garden area, it's really useful to know, because I've always connected a link, but there hasn't been much evidence in women's reproductive health and what goes on down there for us. So learning about Ayurveda has been really, really amazing for me. I highly recommend the audiobook that's free on Spotify. It's literally the whole book, and I've been listening to it on my long drives recently. So shout out to the author and shout out to that book, because it was amazing. And I was telling someone the other day how YouTube is much like my teacher. I feel like so often you have to pay for things, you have to pay to learn, you have to go to school to learn about the most basic subjects, and yet somehow there's always education missing in every facet of my life. So YouTube, when I'm finding the right creators, are my favorite teachers. And one way I'll show you how someone on YouTube introduced me to just foraging natural flowers. In fact, it wasn't even like a hard sell or like, this changed my life forever. They just were living their life and they picked these flowers whilst they was on holiday and just popped them into this vase. And I thought, what a beautiful idea. And since then, I have not stopped foraging wildflowers. It's absolutely my love language, like finding weeds that are about to die on the earth and then popping them into a pot and watching them grow. So I will show you some flowers that I picked today, just to give you an idea of how much it warms my heart. Mic down. How cute. This mic is on a broken paintbrush. So cute. So we have a vase here. It's actually a glass, and I'm going to add some water to the glass. There were flowers previously in here, so I haven't properly washed it, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'll go for a bouquet, other times I will just go for something a little bit more simple, which is what we're doing today. I don't know if you can see this, but yes, I picked these gorgeous flowers from the pavements today, and all I'm going to do is simply take off some of the ends and pop them in. Oh, that's a bit tall, so I get to trim a bit more of those ends and pop that into the vase. I really like different heights of these as well. Let me see if I can wedge this between my feet. Okay. Put that here. Oh, you know, these aren't my favourite ones that I've done, but I really, really love this flower. Can you see? It's such a beautiful flower. It's got this like deep purple in and then this fluorescent lilac, and it really helps my eyes, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna put that just here with my other dried flowers. But yeah, it's so beautiful, and I really do think YouTube is my favourite teacher because I'm able to watch how people lead their lives. And when you grow up in your house and you actually are learning from one person, and we've all heard the saying that it takes a village to raise people, and oh, how could I forget? Cute. We've all heard the saying of how it takes a village to raise people. It does take so many people. However, once you go to school, it's this almost, hey, look what I do, look what I do, look what I do. And I suppose on YouTube it's also look what I do, look what I do, look what I do. But you're just opened up to the whole world, which I think is phenomenal, to be raised by countries, cultures, and all of these different ways of living, learning these sides, which is also why I chose languages. I chose to be a language student because I completely value this idea that, you know, like being able to learn from how other people live and how to interact with others is invaluable. I do not regret taking that degree one bit, even though I'm not sure where I use it in today's world. Recently, I have decided to step a little bit back from short form content and socials where I am just, you know, indulging in so much information that I just can't breathe. I'm constantly comparing my life to others. I don't know who I am. I struggle a lot with borderline personality disorder, and I'm trying to get the diagnosis and trying to get involved with some group sessions because, whew, guys, it's been a hot minute. I often find that relationships is where BPD shines the most. So learning to deal with that is a really big challenge, and it just feels like something so evil sometimes that you can't quite get to grips with. But there are things that really, really help me, and creativity is one of them. This morning, you know, I woke up and I find life can be really boring sometimes, but I think leaning into the boring and leaning into the routine often does help with the more unknown side of things that can really shock the system when it comes to things like fear of abandonment or emptiness or, you know, anything of that matter. But creativity and learning to treat creativity as Bible, as absolute concrete Bible, has been, well, just the most deepening practice for me. It's so funny when you're younger and you watch people do loads of things and you think, oh, how could I ever do those things? And now people go up to me and they're like, you do so much. And it's like, I need to. I have no choice but to create. So one thing since getting rid of social media for the weekend on my phone, it's actually struck a lot of emptiness in me because a lot of my connections to my friends, exchanging memes, sending videos, sharing things, you know, taking in content, it's like almost my life at this point. So having that taken away from you is really incredible and really heartbreaking. However, I've been on YouTube watching so many long videos on YouTube because I will find a way. I'll go on the internet and I'll go on YouTube, and I've been watching phenomenal videos there, really valuing films. I went to see The Devil Wears Prada, which I'm excited to write down. And I have this book. I went to the library today to do a bit of research, and every time I go to the library, not once have I rented a book, because I kind of just know that I've got loads of books to read at home, which is true. However, we're here because you were there. This is a book which is by Ian Sanjay Patel, and it's all about how immigration, it's all about immigration and the end of empire. And I thought looks like a really good book. So it says, in the wedded stories of migration and the end of empire, Ian Sanjay Patel uncovers a forgotten history of post-war Britain. After the Second World War, what did it mean to be a citizen of the British Empire and the post-war Commonwealth of Nations? Post-war migrants coming to Britain were soon renamed immigrants in laws that prevented their entry despite their British nationality. The experiences of migrants and the archival testimony of officials and politicians at home and abroad, retold here, define Britain's role in the global age of decolonisation. And yeah, I am really excited to read this because I feel like my history is a little bit slow, but that's okay. And yeah, I went to see Devil Wears Prada yesterday. It was cheesy, it was sleazy, it was, not something that I would itch to watch again. However, I did enjoy my time in the cinema, and I was going through an emptiness, dark spell, and it happened to be the thing that lifted me up. So I'm very grateful for mostly Emily Blunt's performance. She's amazing. And also, as I was taught on YouTube, is taking field notes, but taking field notes in terms of, learning about how to understand what I've actually watched and really take notes. I've just taken mental notes, but what I really liked about this movie is the fact that it explores this idea of endurance and difficulty. And Andy Sachs, who is the main character, Anne Hathaway's character, she is a really, really tough cookie, and she deals with a lot of crap from, Miranda. Miranda? Yeah. She deals with a lot of crap from Meryl. And it's interesting to see her reactions and to see her kind of get on with it and still fight for this cause of Meryl. Like, Miranda Priestly is almost this religion to aspire to. She can do anything to you, and they will still go and aspire to be her. And it got me thinking, like, who is on the better foot? Is this godlike figure who can do anything they want, anything they please, work incredibly hard, but also just not be a good person? Are they better off, or is the person who is just like pining after this person and viewing them as a Bible to aspire to, are they worse off because they've got this almost like passion and they're willing to work so hard? And I don't think I could be any of those characters, but they have definitely inspired me to work really hard and aspire to work hard. And what I love about The Devil Wears Prada is this insatiable greed for beauty, and they never let it pass them. When they find out, spoiler alert, about how someone's taken over the business and it's all going to be taken over by AI, and they just like probe this idea that, but beauty holds the standard. Why don't we aspire for greatness, aspire for things, aspire for design, aspire for artistry, like true artistry? And that really, really got me. And I thought, wow, what a beautiful explanation. Because where is true artistry? What is true artistry? Only those who know and those who treat it as their Bible will understand what it means. I'm on my journey for learning what that means, and for me it's multiple things, because I guess I struggle to assign to this idea that beauty can only be done, that beauty is only there like when you see it and it can't be created. I think beauty most definitely can be created, but learning what goes on behind the scenes and learning about the grit and the ugliness, I like that, because for me, I could be happy and I could not be working, but I could still be experiencing that ugliness. So why not put it into divinity, artistry, femininity, whatever you call it, whatever feels like your goalpost for life? I think it's amazing, because it's all about aspiring for greatness and never settling for less. So, I mean, take with that what you will, but I really enjoyed this film. And I actually just want to show you guys a little snack that I have been preparing as well, just to keep my like energy level stable, because where I say that I struggle with emptiness, I think a lot of it comes down to my food and my diet. So I'm really passionate about sharing those tips and tricks with you. I've got 4 sweet potatoes in the oven at present, and I'm going to make some sweet potatoes just to snack on throughout the week. And then also some sweet potato brownies, because it's been a minute since I've made sweet potato brownies. But let me put you all here again. So we've got these almonds, and I just buy nuts all the time. We've got these cashews. Cranberries, and also chocolate chips. Chocolate is just the best savior. I think chocolate is so important, and chocolate is everything for my happiness levels. So, and what I do is I pour all of those. I carry a little pot with me virtually every day, and this is my emergency snack jar. I love having this. I really, really do. I love it. So, yeah, if you're ever in need, if you ever think, oh my gosh, I'm buying chocolate nut bars all the time, mix everything together in a little pot, and you've got nuts for forever. You can keep buying them, and you can even take them on holiday. You can even take multiple emergency pots, but it's not really necessary. But yeah, my sweet potato brownies are done. Guys, thank you for joining along. This was just a little chitty chat, and I really enjoy just speaking to you. I feel less alone that way. I feel like I can connect, and bon voyage. Bonne journée. Okay.